G'day mates, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm so excited to go through all the information that we just got today for the $5 million FNCS Grand Royale. This tournament has the biggest single prize pool payout for a player for an online Fortnite event we have ever seen. The top placing team on EU is going to walk away with $600,000, and this format is crazy. The qualifications are insane. There's like 32 reboot rounds. In the finals on day 2, there is double the points of day 1. Like, it's all just a little bit crazy. They said they're going to announce other tournaments for people in the community like you guys to play for if you don't qualify for the Grand Royale. It was a really exciting blog post. It has me so excited for this tournament, so I want to share that with you guys and make sure you're all up to date on what's going on. Also, I want to talk about a huge content update we could be getting next week that could be bringing Cube Town a major POI and map change. We could be getting our Fortnitemares big content updates. Sloan might be making a new mini POI on the map as well. Super hyped to go through that one. And at the end of today's video, I want to talk about what went wrong today with all the pros on the $25,000 Pro Duo tournament and why it ended in such shambles. I'm super excited to share. It looks like we're getting our first major map changes next week. We are getting the addition of Cube Town. Again, I talked about this earlier, but it was kind of just some photos, and we had a POI being rumored that all the cubes were going to come together and make a Cube Town, but now it looks like it's coming way sooner than what we thought. So HypeX tweeted out, there's a chance that we are going to get a mini event next Tuesday to add Cube Town in the middle of the map. Here is why. The cubes reached the middle of the map at 8 p.m. UTC when events usually happen. Cube Town was removed from the files today, and there's a downtime update next Tuesday. Plus, wasn't included in this tweet, if you go to the middle of the map right now, there is very clearly something happening there with the gold cube. The gold cube is sitting above the water and just shooting lightning bolts into it. It looks really cool. Nothing's really happening yet, but if you remember in my video where I talked about Cube Town weeks ago, I said if they add this as a POI, I bet almost anything it'll be in the center of the map. We have what I have affectionately called the purple butthole just sitting in the middle of the Fortnite map. It's been there for a couple seasons now. It is incredibly ugly. It's incredibly boring. If they're going to put any major POI, surely it has to be there, and it makes sense with all the cubes slowly converging on the middle of the map. They will make a giant Cube Town. It would be so cool to have a really big, really populated POI back at the center of the map like a Tilted. I'm very excited to see this. I really hope that HypeX and myself are correct with our predictions, and we've been knowing for a few weeks now that we were going to get a major downtime update sometime soon. Next week makes the most sense. It is also the Halloween update, so maybe the downtime's for the Halloween update and I've got excited a little bit too early, or it's going to be both. Can you imagine next week having downtime, loading in, we have a new major POI that kind of is a big city in the middle of the map, and we have a major Halloween update. I know Halloween updates sometimes annoy people, like you have the zombies come back, but I think they can be really fun. I'm Australian. We don't even celebrate Halloween that much down here. We kind of just do a half-assed version of it because of our American cousins, but I'm very excited for it. It makes the game feel fresh and cool. I hope there's not any crazy amount of fog. That is the only thing that really always makes Fortnitemares feel a little bit annoying for me. But if we get the brooms back, we get the candy, we get some zombies, but nothing too crazy. We have a Cube Town POI. Like, man, this event has so much hope to be so incredible. And on top of that, it could potentially be where we finally see Sloan stop moving. We had HypeX also tweet out, it all makes sense now. Sloan is going to the redacted bunker, in case you missed my previous tweet, and they showed this winter version of Sloan in the survey where she's going into the mountains. So if you follow the path where Sloan's been going right now, she's gone from all the way over near Dirty Docks, near Steamy, all the way past the alien spot there, all the way down the highway, all the way past Lazy, and is now making her way through Retail Row into Caddy Corners. This would be really cool. So next to Caddy Corners where that big bunker spot is, so potentially Sloan might be there for the update as well. She's moving pretty fast these days. She is actually changing almost every single day. It's gonna be interesting because FNCS qualifiers means that this weekend she might be in the middle of Retail Row or making her way to Caddy, which that mythic burst does actually have a huge power spike potential for any one team. So as far as competitive, this could have a very big impact on the Caddy Corner or Retail team, but next week is looking like some major content. I'm getting excited. On the topic of competitive and things affecting competitive massively, I want to talk about this unintentional storm change. I talked about in yesterday's video, I said this is almost definitely a bug. It is. If you played Fortnite at all today, you probably would have noticed every single storm is doing 1 more damage than it should. If it's doing 1, it now does 2. If it's supposed to do 2, it now does 3. The final zone, instead of doing 10, now does 11. All of these having huge changes on competitive. We had a tournament today, a $25,000 duos tournament, where Censored and Commandment died because they pushed the team in Storm where normally they would have lived, but the 2-tick ended up killing them. A lot of people scared that this was a way to counter the Cray strat or the fishing strat or all of that. It is not. Epic tweeted out on the Fortnite status page, "We are investigating an unintended change to the Storm damage in Battle Royale modes. We'll update you when the issue has been resolved." Now, this scares me that it hasn't just been fixed already. It's now been in the game as of recording this video for 24 hours. We have FNCS starting in less than 3 days. I hope this is something they can fix. I don't understand how things like this just break, but I was talking on stream to my viewers about it, and a lot of them saying that it is possible for things to just break like this when you code video games, and there's kind of like a carry-on effect when you change different things in the game. So I hope they can fix it quickly though, because this is a huge impact on competitive. I was playing Arena today and I died because of it. I didn't realize how much I have just a subconscious kind of knowledge of when I can push a fight and how long I can rotate for, because I pushed a fight thinking like, okay, it's first zone. We're only like, you know, a few hundred meters from the zone. I have 1 med kit. I'll be fine. The fight dragged on. It was a 2-tick. We both ended up dying because I just completely forgot the zone is doing double damage early on. So I really hope it gets fixed soon. The other bug, which it doesn't affect competitive too much as is, but it was, we had Fortnite status tweet out, "Due to an issue, synced emotes have been disabled in competitive playlists. We'll let you know when they'll be enabled again." Now, synced emotes are any emote that you can do with a teammate or an enemy, like the high fives or the hugs. They've been disabled because they were causing issues of instant reloading and potentially instant reviving. Again, I talked in a recent video about how we thought there was a team hacking, which I'm pretty sure they were hacking because they got banned, but it looks like there is people who've been exploiting these synced emotes to somehow get instant reloads and instant revives, and that is a big deal. So if you ran into someone who somehow instantly revived their teammate, don't worry, that was a bug that has now been identified, and thankfully before FNCS, because I'm all for, like, you know, smaller exploits, right? Like, technically using a ramp to phase in a box is exploiting, but compared to this, it has nothing on it. So I'm happy they found this. Hopefully they can fix this, because I mean, it's kind of annoying the things that keep just getting taken out of competitive that are cosmetics that you and I paid for. I mean, I'm happy because obviously they need to take it out to fix the bug, but I really hope they get it to the bottom of it. Not that I'm, you know, high-fiving my teammates all the time, but between the superhero skins and now this, there's just a lot of stuff that keeps getting taken out of competitive that are cosmetics that we paid for. Let's talk about this ridiculous $5 million FNCS Grand Royale. I talked about this in an earlier video when it was just a blog post. We didn't get any more details though. We didn't get exactly how it was going to work and exactly what the prize pool distribution was, but we now have that. We have all the information. If you've already looked at it, it's a little bit confusing. So I'm going to explain it. I'm going to let you know how people are going to qualify and how it's all going to work. But straight off the gate, just to get you excited for this tournament, look at the prize pool. $5 million sounds like a lot, right? Like, I thought $5 million, that's crazy, right? Or FNCS has a big prize pool as well. But look at the actual comparison between the Season X Trios Grand Final and this tournament. Remember, you always think of Season X Trios as like when they were just giving away money. When you had Mongrel, Mitro, and Benji making tens of thousands of dollars every week just from the qualifiers. This finals has more money than the Season X final prize pool on Europe. Resub made this tweet, which is what really made me pay attention to it. First place on EU is going to get $200,000 each. Each player is going to get $200,000. Second place is going to get $450,000 split, 150 grand each. It is absolutely insane. I'm not going to go through the prize pool for every single region or the splits. If you guys want to check that, you can just check the official rules. The link will be in the description down below, but I will talk about the main splits for each region. So EU is going to walk away with 2.2 million roughly. NA East is going to get just over $1 million. Brazil's going to get just under 700,000. NA West just under 400,000. Asia just under 250,000, Middle East just under 200,000, and then little old OCE with just over 150,000. So the winning player of EU, not the team, the player alone is going to get $50,000 more than the entire prize pool of OCE. So it's a sad moment just realizing how crazy it's gone and how far it's gone for OCU's prize pool being cut to ribbons. But today is the exciting video. Today is a happy video because this tournament looks insane. So let's talk about how it is actually going to work. I'm not going to read through the entire blog post. The main parts I'll pick out though. So eligible players are any players who have made a single lobby round of FNCS, which is round 4 of a qualifier, semifinals, or finals this year, can make a trio for the event. So again, very simple, set lobbies. So remember the final week of every single FNCS qualifier, that's a set lobby. If anyone's made that, they're through. If anyone's made heats, which is semifinals, those are set lobbies, they're through. And if anyone has made a grand final of any of the FNCSs, they are through. That includes the current one. So if you haven't already yet qualified, the way you are going to qualify is by making one of those set lobbies in this season's FNCS. This is not an opens tournament. Unfortunately, the first blog post about the Grand Royale made us think there was going to be some opens component, like you guys were going to be able to go play in an opens event and somehow qualify. That isn't true, but right at the very bottom of the blog post, don't worry, you're still in this. They said, if you didn't quite make it into the FNCS Grand Royale, we plan on having additional activities you can participate in leading up to the event. We'll have more information on that coming at the beginning of November. So in a few weeks, we'll find out, but that makes it sound like there's going to be other tournaments, maybe some Opens Cash Cups, maybe some cool events, maybe like a Winter Royale style thing going on. There's something else going on. So don't stress just because you can't qualify. I'll still explain how the whole format works because you're going to want to watch this and pay attention to it. So anyone who's made a finals lobby of any FNCS this season is going to be able to make a team. You don't have to play with the team you qualified with. You can find 2 other players and play with them. But of course, that means you're going to have qualifiers. So this is going to take place in the FNCS Grand Royale format. We're breaking out a brand new format for the Grand Royale. The competition will take place across 2 separate weekends. The first weekend, November 11th to 14th, is reserved for the qualifying stages, and the second weekend, November 19th to 21st, is the finals. Now, you might be wondering, why is FNCS starting so fast this season, and why is it ending so early? FNCS is going to start this weekend, and it's going to be over in less than 3 weeks. There's only 2 weeks of qualifiers, then semifinals, reboot round, and finals is all taking place on the same weekend. The reason is they wanted to make room for this FNCS Grand Royale before the season ends. So it's going to take place later in November. The scoring format is interesting. The first part, the qualifying sessions, is going to be Victory Royale is worth 25 points. Each elimination is worth 1. Remember, this is obviously more of your normal like qualification format rather than your finals format. It is going to take place in a 3-hour session where teams have up to 10 matches to earn as many points as possible. From there, teams will be placed on 2 paths. This is where it gets confusing, but don't worry, there's a nice little graphic that I'll go through. The victory path, which is the top 33 teams from that first 3-hour session, and the reload path, which is everyone else. The load session and the reload path will follow this scoring format. Now, victory path. Don't worry too much about the consistency points. The main focus here on the victory path is they are basically reboot rounds. There is going to be 32 reboot rounds to make it into the Grand Royale. 32 reboot rounds. So there's going to be 4 different sessions where the top 8 winning teams of each session are going to go through into the Grand Royale. I know what you're thinking. If the first 8 go through in the first session, how are you going to fill the second session? Well, that's where the reload path comes in. So any team that didn't get top 33 in the first load session, the way that's going to work is they're going to play the reload path. That is basically going to be another 3-hour 10-game tournament. Whoever comes top 8 in that will then go through into the victory path, which is basically reboot rounds. Then if they win a reboot round, they go into the Grand Royale. If they don't win the reboot round, they go back down to the next victory path, and so on and so forth. So I hope that makes sense. All that's going to happen is you're going to have one tournament. It's going to be a reboot round. Top 8 wins go through to Grand Royale. We then go down. Anyone who didn't get into that top 33 at the start, they're going to take place in like another Cash Cup style, 10 games, 3-hour session. The top 8 from that get to go fill out the rest of the victory path. They get a chance to win. They go through. Rinse and repeat. What do I think about this format? On top of being a little bit confusing, in my opinion, if you didn't understand that, don't worry. When it comes around, I'll make it make more sense. If you're not competing, you don't have to worry too much. The main takeaways is there's only one team that's qualifying through consistency. One single team. After 32 games of winners going through, only one team is going to get through without getting a win. That's a bit iffy in my opinion. So what it's going to take is if you've made, let's just say you've made a finals 4 seasons ago. You made a final 4 seasons ago. You come dead last in the load session, the first session, but then you somehow come 8th in the next reload session, and then you get to go into the victory path and you win 1 game, you are now in the finals. It's really not taking the best players. It's not the most consistent format. A lot of people for a long time have been asking for a new format, which is, going to use multi-stage set lobbies. It's going to have a consistency effort. It's going to tear it down. None of that. Epic has just gone like, reboot rounds. We love reboot rounds. And that's why they've thrown more at it. So I hope you guys like reboot rounds. I do. They're fun to watch, but I already said this with the new FNCS format that we're about to watch in a few weeks, which is now going to have so many more reboot rounds. They're kind of overdoing it for me. The hype of the reboot round came from the fact that if 1 team won, they made grands, or if 3 teams won, they made grands. Now it's if 32 teams win, they make grands. Like by that last reboot round, I'm just gonna be like, I don't know. I'm just assuming it's going to lose its impact. But hey, it's very simple for casual viewers to watch. If you tune into my stream, I'll be doing a viewing party for all of this. I'm sure you'll be able to see like, oh, cool. So if he wins, that's it. Awesome. It's going to lead to a lot of heal-offs. I'm very, very happy the Chug Cannon is gone now. It's going to lead to a lot of flopper and splash heal-offs. But some of you guys like watching heal-offs. I find them exciting as well. I just think by the end, it'll be a little bit overdone. But hey, it's a $5 million Grand Royale final. Now, let's talk about the finals, because the finals obviously aren't going to be just a reboot round style. The way it's going to work is just like FNCS. It's going to be 2 days, 12 games, 6 games on each day. The point system for the first day is 30 points for a win. Each elim is worth 2. That's our usual FNCS finals format. Day 2 is where things get weird. Epic says, however, on day 2, we've added the twist where the points are doubled. We'll see who can clutch it up when it matters most. I'm saying it in like a wacky voice because why? Like, what? Why are we just doubling the points on day 2? It seems so odd. Just, I was saying on stream when I was looking through this, it reminds me of the good old days of like Summer Skirmish where they'd have like a megaphone and they'd be like, it's big bonus time. Whoever gets the next elimination gets $50,000. And the players were kind of always just like a bit confused, like, why is this happening? Like, it's a bit of fun. It'll be fun to watch, don't get me wrong. So I don't want to be too negative about this. As far as it affects me, it's going to be really cool to watch. It's going to make day 2 really intense because, you double the points. So if you're coming like 15th on day 1, you have a chance to really come back on day 2. But if we're looking at this from like a competitive standpoint, looking at the whole format as a whole, it's not very competitive. You just have to win. All you have to do, like, you made a finals of 4 seasons ago, and then now you've just got to like win 1 game, and then you make it to the finals, and then there's like this weird double points on day 2. So if you do insanely well on day 1, it's not going to feel like it matters that much. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be a spectacle, and I think that's what Epic's going for. I don't think they're trying to make it overly competitive. They're trying to make it a little bit of fun with competitiveness on top. So I'm down for it. I'm very excited. It is a $5 million tournament. Like I said, no matter how bad the format is, it's still going to be entertaining, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll find that the day 2 having double points means that there's huge comebacks and the stakes are really exciting and everyone's going crazy. Maybe I'll watch 32 reboot rounds and I'll find every one of them fun. We haven't seen a format like this. I'm just guessing I'm not going to like it, but the pros definitely don't like it because this is not a very competitive way to get in, and there's going to be a lot of teams that I argue are better, that deserve to be in the finals, that won't make it through for a chance to play for $5 million. This is the biggest prize pool of the year for Fortnite. But hey, I hope you guys like the format. If you think it's going to be cool, I'm excited to watch it. Speaking of big prize money tournaments, we actually had the $25,000 Code Red sponsored by Xfinity Boom TV Duo Cup. Big title. It was a bit interesting. I was watching it. I really was excited to talk about it in my video today, but honestly, the tournament was just not that worth talking about because it just didn't feel like a real tournament, because halfway through, basically most of the pros gave up, and it was really sad to see. It was $25,000 on the line to the top 8 teams. Rogue Shark and Knight ended up taking it out. They took home a huge prize pool. I think it was over $15,000 for first or something crazy. But like I said, towards the last game started with under 50 players. There was less than half the lobby playing the last game. It was really sad to see. The official broadcast had to turn off. The teams and players alive. A lot of people in the community just, getting upset with the pros. Like, I get it. It's a tournament. You're not doing too well. Only top 8 get money, so there's no chance you earn money. But just out of respect for the tournament organizer, you probably should keep playing. Like, the only reason why I say this as well is I know pros are kids, and I had a lot of people say that again when I raise this as an issue, or their children, they don't understand. I get that. But when you're playing for this level of money, you have to just mature a little bit and have that level of respect. Even if you don't care about the tournament organizer, you need to care for Fortnite, because tournament organizers are watching this, sponsors are watching this, and they see how these tournaments end, and they're not going to want to put money into the game anymore. It just is directly hurting the pros who are doing it. They're now going to complain if in 6 months time no one's running tournaments on their games. And I get it. There's been this discussion with people running tournaments for a very low prize pool, and a whole bunch of huge Fortnite pros with massive followings promote it, and the person is just reaping all the benefits. I get that. But this tournament was run well. The production was running well. The codes went out smoothly. There was no griefing. There was no cheating. The codes weren't getting leaked. Like, there was no drama outside of the tournament organizer's control that was making the games bad. The only people who made the games bad were the pros themselves. Like, I feel like once you sign up for a tournament like this, you should just commit to playing it out. I feel like a lot of these tournament organizers should maybe get them to sign actual agreements where if you quit the tournament midway through, you get fined. I think tournament organizers can be a little bit smarter about incentivizing people to keep playing, like a cash prize per win. If it's a $25,000 prize pool and it's 6 games, maybe pay out like $500 per win, and then make the top prize pool a little bit less, because then you have a reason to keep playing monetarily. But again, like I said, I feel like you should just stick it out because you agreed to do it and you want more tournaments to run, and you want to give back to the people putting $25,000 on the line for you to play for. Like, that's a big deal. Quite often I'm very understanding of the pros. I feel like I'm friends with a lot of them, so I don't try to be that guy too often. But today I had to kind of go like dad mode. I was pretty disappointed to see it. Alright guys, that does it for another video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please chuck a like on it. Let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts on anything I talked about today. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It would mean the world to me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.